I mean, I have a few questions. I don't know where to start, but all right.
The one that matters most to you.
I hope it helps everyone, like all of these questions. I want to start with like the health questions. I know I'm a young guy, I eat very healthy, but since my childhood, for some reason, I've been having some health concerns, like a fear of dying, maybe, or maybe.
It's worth being afraid of because it is going to happen.
I know. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you can help. Like, it's like how to overcome. Sometimes I've been having some pain in my chest or something, like shortness of breath.
Well, you heard us talking earlier about how the manifestations come as a result of the vibrational basis. And so it doesn't matter how you came to that vibrational basis. You may have observed things, you may have seen things that frighten you, you may have heard other people talking about them. It doesn't matter how you came to this vibration, but this vibrational pattern then will just keep yielding to you more things that match it. So what it really comes down to, and you must be tired of hearing it because it's the answer that we always give you, but you cannot continue to beat the drum of unwanted things and expect to feel any better. So sometimes it's helpful to know that the reason that you feel fear or any negative emotion is because in the moment of the fear, your opinion about something is so far off from the opinion of your inner being that you have actually almost lost contact with your inner being. And the more contact you lose with your inner being, those are much too powerful of words, because your inner being never stops focusing on you. It doesn't matter how strong a signal the broadcasting tower is sending. If you turn your receiver off, then the broadcasting tower may as well not even be sending a signal out. So you can pinch yourself off from that. When you say these are things that you've been worried about for a long time, you've got some momentum going about them, but it always means that your inner being is not in agreement. So our first question to you is, do you believe that you even have an inner being?
Yes, I do.
And are you interested in what your inner being thinks about things? And do you believe in the validity of the wisdom of your inner being? And so if your inner being was standing in a room with you, as your inner being always is, and you said, I'm worried about my physical body, and your inner being said, we are not worried about your physical body, and you say, well, inner being, you're not here with my physical body in the way that I am, and your inner being would say, yes, we are in every cell of your being. We are completely aware of everything that's going on with you. We know the request that every cell is making. Every cell that makes a request, a signal is given, and you say, well, I'm really not aware of that, and your inner being would say, we know that you're not aware of that. That's why you think things that block the signal. And you say, well, I don't feel so good, and your inner being would say, we know you don't feel so good because you're blocking the signal. So even though your cells are asking and we're sending something that would bring you a replenishing experience, you're not letting the replenishing experience in because you're blocking it. And you say, I know, but the reason I'm blocking it is because I don't feel good. And your inner being would say,
exactly, that's what's happening.
We know that you're not feeling good and that's the reason that you're blocking it, but you've got to stop blocking it. And you say, well, I can't stop blocking it because I'm worried and I don't feel good. And your inner being is saying, unless you are allowing yourself to find a feeling that is apart from the physical evidence, then the physical evidence can never change. And you say, but wait, if you would just give me different physical evidence, then I would feel better. And your inner being would say, that's not the way that it works. Everything comes in response to, the record is broken, everything comes in response to what you are broadcasting. Everything. Yeah. You just cannot get around it. And so we really are wanting to say to you that the facing of reality and the recapping of reality and the repeating of reality and the discussing of reality and the telling of things that you are currently experiencing that are not the way you want them to be will keep you from ever experiencing what you want. What you think and how you feel and what you speak matters a lot. You just can't get there from there. It's like saying, I would like to go to downtown San Diego. And someone says, well, you need to get on Interstate 5 and point in the direction of south and just keep going. Stay on 5. There are other options, but stay on 5 and it'll take you right into the heart of downtown. And you say, okay, I'm really excited about this. And then you say, you said it wouldn't take me very long. And we say, well, but you're going about it in a different way. And then we would say, you will eventually get there. It's just going to be a while.
I know all of these, but sometimes it's hard to apply. And then I remember, and then I think about Jerry, like I was so upset when I heard about his transition.
But you said you were young and he was old.
I know. Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you.
And you cannot make any comparison between anything that's happening to anyone else because you don't know what their intentions are. You don't know what call they are following. You don't know that was not, and it was the next logical step.
So was it Jerry's choice?
Of course,
transition?
of course. Not Esther's.
Yeah, Esther must have been upset,
She's still pretty mad at him.
So I wrote down some questions, and there's some things that I have been thinking about and trying to overcome. My biggest thing...
And what's happened to you as a result of being in this room today? Has anything shifted?
A lot. Yes, a lot has shifted.
So try to incorporate that shift into the things that you want to talk to us about. Don't go back to how you felt before we had these conversations. Start with your new understanding. You see what we're getting at?
Yes.
Sort of like if you're here and you want to go 20 miles that way, but yesterday you were over there, you don't need to go where you were yesterday and then where you want to. You can just start from where you are. In other words, it's a shorter distance in understanding from where you now are to where you want to go. So, because you do have that sort of tendency.
Yes. Yes, the U-turn. So it's fear of loss is something that I have not been able to overcome. And then also it's like attaching and not being able to let go. So fear of loss and being able to let go. My question is, how do I let go without feeling?
Well, first let's talk about the good thing about fear of loss. It means you care about what you're fearing about losing. And isn't it natural when you care about something that you want to think about it? You want to think about it in a way that feels good to you. So when you think about the opposite of what you want, when your inner being is thinking about what you want, then that's what you're feeling. That's all that fear is. That fear is only your inner being saying, hey, you're focused upon it in opposition to what you want and opposition to what we're focusing upon. That's all it means. And if you can accept that intellectually.
So accept what I want?
Accept what the guidance actually is. Tell us something that you want. Something not sensitive, something that you want. Something light that we can be playful about. Tell us something that you want to do, that you want to have. Tell us something.
I want a horse.
No, can't have a horse. No.
Why?
No reason, no. No horse.
Why not?
No horse.
Please?
No horse.
Like, seriously.
No
come
horse.
on. Please.
No horse. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Horse. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. All right. So that's exactly what's going on.
Yes.
That's exactly. No. Only you're the one saying no, and your inner being is the one saying yes. That's why you feel negative emotion. That's why you feel fear of loss of something. Your inner being is saying yes. You ask for it. It's in your vortex. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. And after a little while, you develop these patterns of just not feeling so good. That's helpful.
Choose to feel good.
Yeah. So when you realize what negative emotion is or what fear is, it's not an indication of something to come. It's an indication of something you're doing right now. And the more you care about something, the greater that feeling of fear of loss will be when you focus in opposition to it. But it turns out nothing is ever lost. Nothing is ever lost. Nothing that is important to you will ever go away from you, ever, ever. You'll just find richer, deeper, more meaningful ways to experience it. There is no such thing as losing anything. There's no such thing as regression. There's no such thing as anything that matters to you going away. And there's no such thing of you ever being less than you now are. Oh, you cannot regress. It cannot happen. But focusing on the idea of regression, or focusing on the idea of loss, or focusing on the idea of stepping back or becoming less than what you've actually become, that's a flawed premise. Do you know that as you live life and you ask for more, even when you don't realize that you are, you know you're asking for the horse, but what you've really been asking for is a friend and companionship and someone who loves unconditionally. What you're really asking for is something that's fun and something that's free. In other words, you put lots of those components in before the idea of the horse was hatched. You just didn't first crack out of the box say, I want a horse. There was so much in your vibrational vortex, then that became the idea that would satisfy that, you see. All of a sudden, Esther, one day after meditation, she felt this really powerful urge for a van. A van, now she has vans, she has all kinds of, but a van small enough she can handle on her own, with all of the conveniences that she might want, so that she can take it to the beach and spend the day and enjoy being at the beach with a bathroom, with a stove, with all of the things that she wants. And in the moment that it hatched, it was so strong. But it didn't just all of a sudden happen. It happened because she'd been to the beach and she wanted a bathroom, and she went to the bathroom and she lost her parking place. It happened from the things that she was experiencing. And because of the experiences she's had with the comfort of those kind of things before, once it erupted, it was like there was no question that this was something that she wanted. Now, if she'd said to herself, no, it's too much trouble, that would feel uncomfortable, because her desire is really strong. Yes, it's trouble because you got to go get it. And yes, it's trouble because you've got to license it. And yes, it's trouble because you got to figure out how to run it. And yes, it's trouble because the first night you bring it home, you don't know how to push the buttons right and the battery goes dead. Yes, all of those things are experiences that you have. But the desire for the van is triumphant, just like your desire for the horse is too. And you're not going to let it go. And your inner being is like a dog on a bone, not letting go of anything that you've put into that vortex. And when you give up on things that you want, you don't feel good. And then you say, oh, I don't feel so good. I have fear of loss, or fear of failure, or I have this negative emotion or this one. And we say, all you have is lack of belief that you can be or do or have anything that you want, when your inner being knows for sure that you can be or do or have anything that you want. Helpful?
Very, yes.
Yeah. Law of attraction gathers these vibrational frequencies that you have offered. You might call them desires, but in the beginning they weren't really desires. They were just awarenesses. You didn't like this and you automatically preferred something more, but you weren't even able to put words to it. You were just subtly doing what you knew you would do as a life form on the leading edge of creation. It just happened to you because so much had come before. You were so already a creator of your own reality that you just came and instinctually knew what to do, and you can't stop doing it. You cannot stop sifting and sorting and launching rockets of desire. In other words, you cannot stop doing step one of the creative process, which is ask. Life just elicits it from you. Now, when you ask, law of attraction and source energy and your inner being and all of us focus upon what you've asked for, and we give it our attention. And by giving it our attention, law of attraction brings more to it. So once you launch a desire, your desire becomes more and more and more and more. And further, you don't just launch that one little desire. You're living broad enough life. You're launching lots of desires, and those desires, most of them dovetail together in a very unique and powerful way right away. And so you become more and more and more, because what you give birth to in terms of vibration, as your inner being joins it, you evolve. Or you could say, more accurately, that the non-physical part of you evolves. But we want to say to you that the non-physical part of you cannot evolve without the physical part of you evolving, because you cannot detach yourself from that. You were source energy before you came into this physical body, and when you came, that source energy part of you remained there as the resourcing source of you. So you come and you do your part, just like you knew you would. You come, you sift and sort, and you ask for more. You ask for more than you have ever asked for before, and you ask for more collectively than has ever been asked for before. So the universe is expanding as a result of your, in most cases, unconscious asking.